After Hanju's explanation, Chan Yuer finally dispelled her doubts. Chan Yuer talked about her experiences over the years. Hanju listened attentively, taking the opportunity to learn about overseas. Chan Yuer said, Hanju, you choosing ascetic cultivation was the right decision. The overseas sect where the Nine Cauldrons sage resides is not harmonious. Hundreds of disciples from the Jade Pure Holy sect who went along died, and the so-called opportunity turned out to be non-existent. I survived by staying in seclusion all the time, luckily making it back. Hanju felt secretly fortunate. Fortunately, I didn't follow the Nine Cauldrons sage back then. Otherwise, I would have encountered endless troubles, and my cultivation level would definitely not be as high as it is now. Thus, the two of them talked for a long time, until sect leader Li came to visit, informing Hanju, there's a banquet at the Gluttonous Tower today to welcome the Nine Cauldrons sage. I wonder if Elder Han would honor us with his presence. Hanju didn't want to continue talking with Chan Yuer, so he planned to go with the sect leader. Hanju told Chan Yuer, the master has moved over, so you don't need to go to the Jade Seclusion Peak anymore. It would be better if you also moved here to cultivate, which would be convenient for looking after the master. Chan Yuer joyfully agreed. She hadn't expected Hanju to be willing to let her move in, immediately feeling her status in Hanju's heart was different. But Chan Yuer chose a cave dwelling located between Sichuan Ferry and Xinghongxian, nearly equidistant from both. Under the twilight, on a mountain path, Su Qi, carrying a sword, moved forward with a weathered and dusty appearance, heading towards Great Swallow. For some reason, the journey back seemed more dangerous than the way there. Recently, he encountered many demon cultivators, each more ferocious and evil than the last. Su Qi couldn't help but glance at an old man walking on a mountaintop nearby. This person was Dooku, a tribulation-crossing realm great cultivator he had met in the ruins of the monster-taming demon sect. Dooku followed him along the way, helping Su Qi kill many demon cultivators. The monster-taming demon sect was destroyed, and I always feel regretful. If I cannot understand the wishes, the knot in my heart may become a heart demon when I ascend in the future, Dooku said. Thus, he followed Su Qi, wanting to take Su Qi as his disciple, but Su Qi already had a master and could not simply accept another. Dooku, however, would not force a junior just because he was more powerful. Stop! Dooku suddenly shouted, startling Su Qi. Dooku flashed in front of Su Qi, his face dark as he said, Luo Chioma, you've been eyeing my disciple. What are your intentions? Su Qi looked over and saw a dark shadow emerge in front of him, its face indiscernible like a ghost. Your disciple? Isn't this the demon master's disciple? Luo Chioma said. Dooku was shocked. No wonder this kid wouldn't take me as his master. He has such a significant background. Su Qi was stunned upon hearing this. Huh? When did I become the disciple of the demon master? Luo Chioma coldly said. Dooku, if you want to ascend properly, just let go. I'm taking this child with me. Su Qi asked him why he was looking for him, wondering if it was the demon master's will. Luo Chioma smirked cunningly. It is and it isn't, but I can assure you of granting you a great opportunity. At this moment, Dooku frowned, unsure of what to do. Luo Chioma has been famous for many years, with a cultivation at least at the Mahayana realm. The concept of an opponent doesn't really apply to him. Senior, you should go. Thank you for your care during this time, Su Qi said seriously to Dooku. He could see that Dooku was afraid of Luo Chioma and didn't adopt a strong stance, so he didn't want to make things difficult for Dooku. After much hesitation, Dooku was reluctant to leave Su Qi. Su Qi thought for a moment and said, if you really want to resolve your obsession with the monster-taming demon sect, then go to Great Swallow and serve the Jade Pure sect for a while. I am originally from the Jade Pure sect and joined the monster-taming demon sect later. The Jade Pure sect is essentially my hometown. Saying this, he handed the Jade Pure sect token to Dooku. Dooku sighed. Having finally reached the verge of ascension, he naturally couldn't give up a great future for the sake of a junior. What kind of logic is that? What does resolving a heart knot have to do with serving someone else? What more do you want? Isn't the entire Jade Pure sect enough for you to take disciples? Jade Pure sect? Luo Chioma seemed to think of something. Wasn't the person who killed my master's demon pet from the Jade Pure sect? Is this a coincidence or is it fate? Su Qi looked at Luo Chioma and said, take me with you. For some reason, Luo Chioma, meeting Su Qi's gaze, felt an inexplicable unease. Why do I feel like I'm about to have bad luck? While Hanju was cultivating peacefully at the ascetic Immortal Mountain, others eager for adventures were still seeking opportunities outside. At this time, in a place overseas known as the Cape of Good Hope, Zhou Fan, Mafuchu, and Xianshishir stumbled upon an ancient relic in a cave by the sea. Zhou Fan heard that this was the ancestral land of the three major sects nearby. After exploring, the trio didn't find any opportunities, only an old ship stranded in the cave. The ship was entirely black, like a black pearl emitting a faint glow in the dark cave. The decrepit ancient ship exuded a sinister aura, with skull symbols covering its body, emitting a faint purple glow. The damp and rotting air in the cave made it uncomfortable for the trio, and the visible bones everywhere emitted an evil aura, even making Xianxue, who was well experienced, feel uneasy. An ominous premonition kept zapping her skin like static electricity, and she continuously advised caution. At this time, Zhou Fan recognized the patterns on the ancient ship, reminiscent of the patterns Mafuchu displayed while channeling his energy. Mafuchu immediately activated his technique for comparison and found an astonishing similarity. Could there be a connection? Just then, the ancient ship suddenly activated some ancient prohibition. The pattern shone brightly, and a spell barrier shot up into the sky. Xianxue, sensing danger, yelled for them to retreat quickly. Unexpectedly, the prohibition condensed into several tentacles that instantly pierced into Mafuchu's arms. The pain made Mafuchu scream incessantly, unable to resist as more tentacles formed from the prohibition's spiritual power, wildly piercing towards Mafuchu. Zhou Fan tried to help, but was continuously attacked by the tentacles, which seemed to selectively target Zhou Fan and Xianxue, attacking them while chasing Mafuchu like snakes after prey, frantically biting and drilling into his body. Mafuchu's eyes were filled with blood, overwhelmed by the influx of spiritual power as if about to burst. Xianxue grabbed the two, intending to quickly escape this eerie place. She mobilized all her spiritual power to flee towards the cave entrance at top speed. However, the realm of the person who set the prohibition was certainly far beyond Xianxue. No matter how fast she tried to escape, the tentacles could always catch up, relentlessly piercing into Mafuchu's body. The intense pain nearly made Mafuchu faint. Zhou Fan wanted to help but couldn't intervene, and Xianxue could only focus on fleeing with the two. Unable to turn back to save Mafuchu, countless tentacles followed them, the immense force continuously pulling at Mafuchu's flesh. Eventually, Mafuchu's clothes couldn't withstand the tremendous force and were torn apart. Just as the three were about to reach the cave entrance, the tentacles dragged Mafuchu back, and in an instant, the cave entrance collapsed. Only Xianxue and Zhou Fan escaped, while Mafuchu was trapped inside. Seeing a brother with whom he had adventured for 100 years meet such a fate, Zhou Fan was nearly driven to madness. He was so close, yet he could only watch as Mafuchu was dragged back, helpless to intervene. The entrance had already collapsed, making it incredibly difficult to return. Zhou Fan screamed to go back and save Mafuchu, but Xianxue held him tightly because she sensed a group of people coming their way. Their safety was now their primary concern. Zhou Fan also sensed the powerful auras, with 3 Union Realm strong ones rushing towards them. Not far in front of them, several ancient ships were breaking through the waves, surrounded by countless ugly demons and monsters. The leading ship, shouting in an incomprehensible language, seemed to be directing the other ships and monsters towards them. Zhou Fan asked Xianxue if she could understand the strange speech, to which Xianxue replied, "I don't know, but it's definitely nothing good. That leader might well be the legendary Octopus Jones." At that moment, countless monsters swiftly attacked the two of them. The monstrous tide filled with Union Realm, several nascent Soul Realm, more than 20 Golden Core Realm, and numerous Foundation Establishment Realm auras. Fortunately, there were no Fusion Void Realm powerhouses among them. Xianxue, sword in hand, charged into the monstrous tide. She planned to deal with the 3 strongest ones herself, leaving the rest for Zhou Fan to handle as best as he could. As Xianxue moved among the monsters, a blood mist rose, staining the sea red. Even facing several masters, she showed no sign of fear. On the other side, Zhou Fan was cutting down lower realm monsters like slicing through vegetables, killing them with his punches and causing blood and bones to fly everywhere. But even a tiger cannot withstand a pack of wolves, and gradually he too began to falter. Unfortunately, there was no communication between the two sides, making the battle a matter of life and death. As he was gradually surrounded by numerous monster masters, Zhou Fan activated his tyrannical body form. A terrifying pressure emanated from him, and his demonic transformation instilled fear in the fearsome monsters. Suddenly, a powerful spiritual power explosion occurred, and before the monsters could see Zhou Fan clearly, they were annihilated by his soul-shattering demonic fist. It was too late for the monsters to retreat. Zhou Fan smashed the attacking monsters with one punch, then used his explosive demonic chant palm, a powerful spiritual power shockwave instantly destroying an enemy ship and all the demons and ghosts on it. The huge impact shocked the other enemy ships on the sea. The monsters might have been discussing how to escape, but in the next moment they were wiped out by the frenzied Zhou Fan. Driven by rage over his brother's death, Zhou Fan brutally destroyed ship after ship. However, at that moment, a powerful oppressive force arrived, specifically the collective pressure of 5 spirit transformation strong ones. 5 spirit transformations against 1 nascent soul. You really think highly of me. Zhou Fan roared like a madman at that moment. The 5 spirit transformation strong ones acted together, each throwing out a strand of true energy that instantly bound Zhou Fan's limbs. As the spirit transformation realm powerhouses pulled, the true energy ropes tightened, and one of the demons forcefully tore off one of Zhou Fan's arms. Just like that, the strong ones brutally dismembered Zhou Fan's physical body, as if tearing him apart like quartering. In his final moments, Zhou Fan was filled with unwillingness, as his story was not yet complete. On the other side, Hanju fully mastered the 8th level of the 6 realms of reincarnation technique. Hanju mastered a new divine ability named Gate of Reincarnation. As the name suggests, this gate allows one to step into the 6 realms of reincarnation. He can directly throw souls into the 6 realms of reincarnation or step into the netherworld through the Gate of Reincarnation. The disciples were speechless. Go to the netherworld? Isn't that the same as being dead? While the disciples were pondering how to use the Gate of Reincarnation to die, Hanju received system notifications. Your friend Mafuchu wandered into an ancient forbidden land and was entangled by ominous forces. Your friend Zhou Fan was hunted by 3 sects, burned his essence blood, and developed an evil heart. Your friend Suchi spread bad luck, and combined with your curse, Luo Chioma's lifespan was reduced by 1,000 years, a effect that will continue. Your enemy, Extinction Taoist, due to your curse, has diminished luck and an increased chance of encountering inner demons. What does ominous forces refer to? Did Zhou Fan, a main character like him, really die? Wait, Suchi spreading bad luck to Luo Chioma. Is that a coincidence? Could those two have encountered each other? Hanju fell into deep thought. Is it possible that because of the Book of Misfortune's curse, Luo Chioma encountered Suchi? The law of cause and effect is the most mysterious and profound rule between heaven and earth. Hanju couldn't figure it out and decided not to overthink it. It's best if Luo Chioma just dies of bad luck to completely eliminate the possibility of him seeking revenge on me. Hanju closed the system interface to find his disciples still discussing his Gate of Reincarnation. Yang Tiandong slapped his chest and declared, Yang Tiandong, used to not believe in the netherworld, but since Master has actually comprehended a divine ability to traverse the netherworld, Master, you are too cool. I want to be the first to go in. Morongqi secretly said to Sun Chang'an, does he really want to die that badly? Hanju ignored Yang Tiandong and quickly retracted the Gate of Reincarnation. Chick curiously asked Hanju, Master, you didn't call us over just to show off a Doraemon-style magic door, did you? Hanju nodded and instructed them to find a place to sit. Today, I will teach you about the Tao. If you have any doubts about your cultivation, feel free to ask. Preaching the Tao? Everyone was stunned upon hearing the idea of preaching the Tao. In their memory, Hanju had never done such a thing. Could the master have taken the wrong medicine? Perhaps the sun and great swallow rose from the west. No, it must be that the tribulation crossing has scrambled the master's brains. Seeing the puzzled expressions on everyone's faces, Hanju explained, after reaching the tribulation crossing realm, my cultivation growth rate has slowed, so I can spare some time to teach my disciples. Hearing this, everyone was overjoyed and thanked Hanju profusely. A proper class setup was necessary, so with a flick of his sword, Hanju prepared a cushion for each person. Chick, conditioned to get sleepy, started to doze off. That fat chicken, keep your eyes open and listen carefully. What I'm about to say will be useful to you in the future. The lecture began, and Hanju shared his way of the sword with the disciples. Although pure sword cultivators were rare, most cultivators practiced swordsmanship, as the sword is considered the king of weapons, fitting the temperament of cultivators. What is a sword? What is the way of the sword? The tangible is called a tool, and the intangible is called the Tao. The tangible is the sword, and the intangible is the Tao. Hanju's teaching filled the entire Jade Pure Holy sect, resonating with all the swords in the sect. Nine Cauldrons Sage also noticed this unusual phenomenon and immediately realized that a great being was preaching the Tao. Not wanting to miss this opportunity, he quickly ordered, spread the word immediately, instruct all disciples to begin cultivating on the spot. Instantly, everyone in the sect, from the sect leader and elders down to the smallest creatures, regardless of whether they were in the middle of using the restroom or were halfway through dual cultivation, entered a state of cultivation. After 7 days, countless lights soared into the sky, and more than half of the cultivators in the Jade Pure Holy sect had made breakthroughs. At this time, within ascetic Immortal Mountain, Hanju was passing on the ultimate techniques of the way of the sword to his disciples. Thrusting, swift as he's shooting down the 9 suns, emphasizes quick and precise strikes. Ripping, lifting, slashing, and wiping, agile as a group of emperors' majestic dragons flying, focuses on unpredictable changes during a fight. Intercepting, fierce as thunder quelling its fury, emphasizes seizing the moment for a quick and decisive kill to end the battle. Finally, withdrawing the sword, tranquil as the river and sea turning to clear light, one must be resolute in action and calm in retraction. After the lecture, Hanju retracted the Tao charm, and all disciples gained insights. Yang Tiandong clenched his fists, resolved, I will never again harbor thoughts of leaving. I must diligently follow Master and cultivate. Listening to Master's preaching is better than adventuring outside for 100 years. Hanju gave a few instructions and let the disciples continue their cultivation. In peaceful times, thanks to the spiritual energy of ascetic Immortal Mountain, everyone could focus on cultivation without the strife and deception of the outside world. This was the cultivation life Hanju longed for. Suddenly, Hanju received a system notification that distressed him greatly. A terrifying pressure erupted from him, swiftly sweeping through the entire Jade Pure Holy sect and making it difficult for anyone to breathe. Even Nine Cauldrons sage was shocked. However, after a moment, the terrifying pressure disappeared as quickly as it had appeared, leaving everyone puzzled. The always amiable and uncontentious god-slaying elder. Why would he release such terrifying pressure? Nine Cauldrons sage wiped off his cold sweat, thankful that the pressure dissipated quickly. That pressure contained destructive fluctuations. Ordinary matters could not possibly agitate god-slaying elder. It must be that someone he cared about was in trouble. At that time, on a massive altar in a mountainous area, chaotic heavenly dog was bound by spike-filled vines, its silver-white fur stained with swathes of red. Demon cultivators encircled the altar in layers, and a priest-like demon cultivator, waving a magical tool, chanted, "The auspicious time is upon us. With the blood of a deity, we summon the heart of a demon. Are you all prepared to welcome the arrival of the demon emperor? All hail the arrival of the demon emperor." All the demon cultivators shouted in unison, each face filled with fanaticism. What to do? Am I going to die here? Chaotic heavenly dog was so weak it started trembling, praying for someone to save it. Regret flooded its heart. If it were given another chance, it would never leave ascetic immortal mountain. It would definitely listen to the chicken. Unfortunately, there were no second chances, and it only understood this as the demon cultivator's sword fell upon it. As the ceremony progressed, the demon cultivators chanted spells together, hoping for the resurrection of the demon emperor. Soon, a strange green flame ignited on the body of chaotic heavenly dog, and a tall, black figure slowly emerged. Tears filled the eyes of the demon cultivators. It's him, our hero. The flesh of the demon emperor gradually reformed into a human shape, as if he walked out of the annals of time, wearing a purple Taoist robe and a tall hat, resembling a grim reaper from the netherworld. The demon emperor glanced at chaotic heavenly dog, such a rare divine beast, and with extraordinary fate. It's a pity to die like this. With that, the demon emperor exhaled a mass of demonic energy towards chaotic heavenly dog. Its body trembled for a moment. Come back to life. You still have use. Meanwhile, Hanju received another notification. Your divine pet, chaotic heavenly dog, has been sacrificed and become the mount of demon emperor Jinaya. Hanju instantly flew into a rage. How dare they sacrifice my dog and ride it beneath their buttocks? Who does this demon emperor Jinaya think he is? Hanju released a terrifying pressure. At that moment he seemed to be the demon emperor himself. If you ascended to the higher realms, perhaps I wouldn't be able to find you, but as long as you are in the mortal realm, I will not let you off. In the mortal realm, even if you reach the skies, you are just at the Mahayana realm. I don't believe you can withstand my curse. Saying so, Hanju returned to his cave and pulled out the Book of Misfortune, directly writing Jinaya's name in it. Thank you for offending me. It's just right to test my limits with you. Thus, Hanju cursed him non-stop for 3 months, but since Jinaya had neither affection nor hatred towards Hanju, even after 3 months, Hanju saw no changes in him. Hence, Hanju got up and went to find Li Qingzi, thinking of gathering some information about Demon Emperor Jinaya. Hanju's visit surprised Li Qingzi. Elder Han always keeps to himself. It's rare to see him like this. Li Qingzi noticed Hanju's complexion. Elder Han, you've been overdoing it lately. 3 months of continuous cursing had taken a toll on Hanju's body, leaving him looking as if he had been fighting Xing Hongxian for 3 months. Li sect leader, have you heard of someone named Jinaya? Li sect leader felt the name was familiar, and then he remembered. Anyone who is a demon cultivator must know of Jinaya, the legend who once unified all demon cultivators under his rule. Hanju was puzzled. Why do you say legend? Li Qingzi explained that Jinaya had died long ago, but his legend still circulated among demon cultivators. It said that he was once the emperor of the most powerful dynasty in history. After ascending the throne, he governed diligently, ensuring peace and prosperity, and his nation was very strong. If he hadn't turned to evil paths later, that dynasty might have continued to this day. Legend has it that in search of eternal life, he was misled by treacherous court officials into the demon path, eventually losing his mind to demonic cultivation and turning into a madman, disappearing without a trace. His dynasty was ultimately destroyed by enemy states, but in his madness, he lived for 1,000 years with his demonic powers until he regained his sanity upon achieving great demonic cultivation. By then, dynasties had changed, and as no longer existed. Angered, he began a massacre in the mortal world, even slaughtering the entire royal family of a dynasty right in front of the reigning emperor. At that time, no one in the dynasty could stand against him, not even daring to utter his name. While there were Mahayana realm experts, most chose to ascend to avoid him. Those who dared to confront him were all killed by him. The unrivaled Jinaya continued to recruit demon cultivators, waging wars, and eventually establishing a demonic dynasty to rule the world. At that time, most of the mortal world became a paradise for demon cultivators, a place more terrifying than hell. What happened after that? Hanju continued to inquire. Afterward, he died, perishing in the heavenly tribulation of ascension. If he hadn't died, perhaps this world would have belonged to the demon cultivators by now. Hanju thought seriously. The system's notifications were never wrong, so it seemed that Jinaya had indeed been resurrected with the bloodline of Doggy. After understanding the situation, Hanju stood up to leave. Li Qingzi stopped him and asked, Elder Han, why are you inquiring about this person? Could it be that the demon cultivators are making a move again? Hanju didn't want to say too much, so he told him he was just asking casually and not to worry. Seeing Hanju's hesitant appearance, Li Qingzi knew something was wrong. The peaceful days of the Jade Pure sect were coming to an end. Cursing for 3 months with no effect. It seems I need to find a way to make Jinaya aware of me, but also ensure he can't find me, Hanju thought as he walked back to his cave. Passing by Shishuan Fairy's cave, Hanju rarely saw his master. Shishuan Fairy was still as ethereal and detached as ever, unchanged for 100 years. Hanju excitedly greeted her. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, master. It's been a long time. To his surprise, Shishuan Fairy touched Hanju's forehead with a snap. Hanju, with your cultivation level, from tribulation crossing to energy cultivation, it's almost impossible for you to have left this sect or to be injured. Aside from a cultivation mishap, I can't think of any other possibility. Damn, the side effects of using the Book of Misfortune are too obvious and have been noticed. Although the internal injuries have healed, there's been a constant lack of vitality. Is it a feeling of being overdrawn? Ah, indeed, I knew it. There comes a day for every man. I've said before, cultivation must be balanced with rest. Preaching the Tao is very draining, and you went on for 7 days. Then, without resting, you continued cultivating. No matter how high your cultivation is, you can't endure that. What? So that's what you meant, master. Shishuan Fairy expressed regret. During those days you were preaching, I was traveling outside. It's such a pity I missed it, having preached for 7 days. Saying so, Shishuan Fairy began rummaging through her storage bag and pulled out a can of tea leaves. This duck shit aroma tea was found in an ancient relic. It can warm the body and boost energy, strengthen the foundation, and is perfect for you. Take it back and drink it. Opening the can, Hanju found the tea emitting a spiritual mist, clearly not ordinary. It seems master has had quite the fruitful travels recently. Shishuan Fairy smiled slightly. It's all thanks to you holding down the fort, allowing us elders not only to improve our fortunes, but also to practice outside with peace of mind. Before you came to the Jade Pure sect, it was common for the elders to return empty-handed. Hanju felt somewhat embarrassed being praised by his master, but then he noticed his damn disciples were already enjoying his melon. Hurry back to practice your swordplay. Place the tea in the cave to be worshipped. After hundreds of years, you dare to eat your master's melon. At that moment, Shishuan Fairy said lightly, I envy your disciples, having you as their greatest fortune. I've spent my life in seclusion and never heard a great one preach. I missed out on such a rare opportunity just because I was traveling. Is this my fate? Of course not, master. You haven't missed anything. My preaching isn't something that needs to be announced to the world. If master doesn't mind, we can have a one-on-one session. You can come to my cave, or I can go to master's cave. Shishuan Fairy smiled slightly. If it doesn't inconvenience fellow Taoist Han, that would be acceptable. Just as the atmosphere was becoming somewhat subtle, a large face inconveniently appeared in front of them. Elder Han, there's big trouble. Actually, I've noticed something was off for a while now. I didn't expect Elder Han to be monitoring the movements of demon cultivators at all times. Don't worry, you're not fighting alone. Whether it's against demon cultivators or the demon emperor, we of the righteous path will stand by you without hesitation, Hanju said. I was just asking casually. Li Qingzi responded, we are secretly carrying out a demon hunting operation. I didn't expect that Elder Han, without stepping outside, already knew about it. You are indeed profound and unfathomable. Li Qingzi explained, actually, we had already discovered signs of a resurgence of the demon cult years ago, but investigating demon cultivators has been fraught with difficulties. We still don't understand the intentions behind the demon cult's resurgence, but Elder Han, your inquiry about Jinaya's past has led us to discover their true intentions. It's not just about unifying the religious beliefs of demon cultivators. Their real intent is likely the resurrection of the demon emperor. We must eradicate them in their nascent stage, otherwise, the dark history of the demon emperor's reign will repeat itself. After all, there have always been few Mahayana realm experts throughout history, and even fewer who can contend with them. After Li Qingzi's explanation, Hanju had already guessed that the reason the demon cult used doggy as a sacrifice was mostly related to the resurrection of the demon emperor. At this moment, Hanju also received a system notification. Jinaya, hatred, 3 stars, Mahayana realm level 3, immortal realm demon emperor, whose demon disciples sacrificed your divine pet chaotic heavenly dog to summon Jinaya back from the demonic abyss. While Li Qingzi was still praising Hanju for his astute calculations, Hanju urged him to recall all external informants immediately, as staying outside for 1 more day increased the danger. Saying this, Hanju headed straight for his cave. Now that he had a hatred rating, cursing Jinaya urgently was the most important task. Although Jinaya's cultivation was impaired due to his resurrection, he was not someone the current righteous path cultivators could handle. Only Xian Qingjun, his big wife, could completely overpower Jinaya, yet she was also mixed up with the demon path. The concern now was if Jinaya teamed up with them, the world would be thrown into chaos again. Li Qingzi watched Hanju leave, thinking, even if the sky falls, Elder Han will hold it up. I should stop worrying unnecessarily. warily. Li Qingzi turned back to look at Sichuan Fairy's cave. Junior sister, may I come in to catch up? Sichuan Fairy coldly responded with one word, no. A dejected Li Qingzi left. Back in his cave, Hanju immediately opened the system to see why Jinaiha suddenly harbored hatred towards him. Could it be that doggy betrayed him after becoming a mount? The system notification popped up. Jinaiha extracted the soul of chaotic heavenly dog and became aware of your existence, harboring dread towards you. If given a chance, he will surely seek to kill you. Current hatred level is 3 stars. Hanju then immediately opened Doggy's profile, finding that Doggy's icon was not grayed out, indicating that Doggy was still alive. Now, going out to find Doggy might not yield any results, and even if we do find him, it's not certain we could bring him back safe and whole. The priority remains to improve my cultivation and reach the Mahayana realm as soon as possible. As he spoke, Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune again, since it can take immediate effect. Jinaiha, just wait for your demise. A year later, it was the day for the Jade Pure Holy sect to select elders again. Xiao Yao, as the assessing elder, was selecting disciples for the examination. Excuse me, are you from the Jade Pure sect? An elderly voice sounded behind Xiao Yao. I'm really sorry to disturb you. My young friend instructed me to greet you before entering the Jade Pure sect. Xiao Yao was surprised. The person's cultivation must be significant to approach so silently. At this moment, Xiao Yao also sensed the aura of a demon cultivator from the visitor. A demon cultivator, are you here to cast your lot with us? The elderly man immediately waved his hand. I've long since abandoned the dark path. My own sect was destroyed, so under the instruction of a young friend, I've decided to seek refuge in the Jade Pure sect to contribute my humble efforts and settle my last ties, with no ill intentions whatsoever. Hearing that a demon cultivator had come to offer his services, the candidate disciples immediately expressed their discontent. Why should a demon cultivator be allowed to compete with us? However, Xiao Yao said, the Jade Pure Holy sect embraces all under heaven. If a demon cultivator repents and turns to righteousness, we welcome them. Those with notable strength can even be accepted as honored guests and receive offerings. However, to be selected, one must start from the Spirit Transformation Realm level 3. Would the elder care to demonstrate your ability? The elderly man with a hoarse voice said, becoming a guest elder is not bad. A duel might not be very friendly, so I'll just show a little of my ability. My apologies for any offense. With that, the elderly man instantly released his pressure, and all the candidate disciples were blown away and knocked unconscious in an instant. Even the beasts used for assessment died in droves. In a blink of an eye, the elderly man retracted his pressure as if nothing had happened. The elderly man trembled. Was that sufficient? If there are no objections, I'd be grateful if you could notify the Jade Pure sect. I'd like to process my joining formalities today. Even the blind Xiao Yao was shocked into opening his eyes. Tribulation Crossing Realm. In the blink of an eye, several more years passed, and Hanju once again celebrated his centennial birthday. The system always had a big gift for him on such occasions. Detected you have reached 500 years of age. Taking another step in life, you have the following choices. 1. Exit seclusion, flatten the demon path, become renowned throughout the world, and receive a Tai spiritual treasure. 2. Continue cultivating, stay away from worldly affairs, do not actively provoke trouble, and receive a Tai spiritual treasure. Since the rewards are the same, I'll follow my heart. Hanju silently chooses the second option. You have chosen to continue cultivating, staying away from worldly affairs, and receive a Tai spiritual treasure, 9-fold sky-stepping boots. A Tai grade 6 rank spiritual treasure, containing the true essence of wind, capable of ascending to the heavens in one step, reaching the 9th layer of the sky. Not bad. A spiritual treasure that can enhance my ability to flee. The system really knows me well. He decides to give his currently worn 9-star spirit stepping boots to Xing Hongxian. Eager to test the effects, Hanju immediately jumps out of his cave and starts to fly using the power of the 9-fold sky-stepping boots. With his left foot stepping on the right and his right foot stepping on the left, the earth below becomes tiny in just one step. He propels himself upwards several times, spiraling into the sky. Looking down, he sees that the mortal realm of this world is not round like Earth, but an incredibly vast continent surrounded by countless stars twinkling faintly. Hanju takes another step, intending to delve deeper into the universe, but he unexpectedly hits an invisible barrier head-on, quite hard. Looking up, all he sees is emptiness, nothing visible. Hanju touches the barrier. Is ascending through this barrier? Is the immortal realm beyond it? Hanju throws a powerful punch, but the invisible barrier remains unreactive. He then takes out his primordial judgment sword, planning to try with a powerful move. At this moment, a voice from behind stops him. Don't bother. The immortal realm is not beyond this barrier. Even a Mahayana realm expert cannot break through this barrier. But reaching here means you must at least be at the Tribulation Crossing realm. Those at the Union realm cannot get up here. Hanju turns around warily. The system notification identifies the speaker as Dooku, formerly a disciple of the monster taming demon sect, currently a wandering rogue cultivator at the 3rd level of the Tribulation Crossing realm. Tribulation Crossing level 3? I truly didn't expect there to still be remnants of the monster taming demon sect. Hanju sneered. Without waiting waiting for a response, Hanju directly used the 3 pure worlds extermination. Following the system's notification sound, the battle ended in 1 second. Hanju could easily eliminate Dooku. After reaching the Tribulation Crossing realm, Hanju could simulate battles in his mind, and to prevent being attacked in a moment of distraction, he adjusted the trial time to 1 second. If he couldn't beat his opponent in that time, he could simply flee. Since he could defeat him, Hanju decided to have a further chat with Dooku. Since the immortal realm is not beyond this barrier, then where is it? Could fellow Taoist enlighten me? Dooku began to explain about the immortal realm, starting with the barrier and the stars. The stars beyond are merely illusions created by the magical treasures of immortals, and the mortal world here has been trapped by the heavenly laws since its inception. Under these laws, everyone is a prisoner, but with the permission of these laws, one can ascend. The minimum requirement for ascension set by the heavenly laws is reaching the Tribulation Crossing realm. After facing the Ascension Thunder Tribulation, one can leap out of this world. Hanju then asked, "Why haven't you ascended, fellow Taoist?" Dooku said he had a pact with a young friend from the Jade Pure sect to guard this place for 100 years to settle their karma before ascending. The young friend he made a pact with is named Suchi. Does he have any living relatives? Mentioning relatives made Hanju's heart go cold. Why do you seek his relatives? To Hanju's surprise, Dooku bent down in sorrow. It's my incompetence. The young friend was captured by Luo Chioma, and I fear his chances are slim now. If he has any living relatives, I thought to support them, as a way to honor my friend. After hearing this, Hanju no longer hid the truth. I must tell you, Suchi is a disciple of mine. Hanju. Dooku was shocked. Could you be the god-slaying elder that the young friend spoke of? No wonder your cultivation is so high. Since we are all part of the same sect, the Jade Pure Holy Sect will not treat you poorly. Saying so, Hanju reached into his robe and took out a god-slaying token. Since you've come from afar, why not become a guest elder in our sect? You won't need to go out, just focus on your cultivation. With this token, no one in the sect will dare to trouble you. Dooku expressed his gratitude. That would be wonderful. I've also passed the elder assessment previously. After that, the two planned to return to the sect together. Hanju reassured Dooku with a pat on the back. Don't worry, elder. With Suchi following Luo Chioma, it's hard to say who will be the unlucky one first. On the way back, Dooku warned Hanju, the 5 great powers of the demon path have already awakened, and chaos will soon engulf the world. The Jade Pure Holy Sect should prepare early. If fellow Taoist Han has thoughts of ascending, I can offer my help to leap out of this world together. Hanju thanked Dooku for his kind offer. The conflicts in the immortal realm are probably more severe than in the mortal realm. I, Hanju, would definitely not rashly ascend without the ability to protect myself. Dooku shook his head with a smile. It seems fellow Taoist Han has a long life ahead, and cultivation really does depend on one's natural talent. Speaking of which, who exactly are the 5 great powers of the demon path you mentioned? Dooku listed them: Luo Chioma, the white-haired witch, greedy demon Arhat, blood demon ancestor, and the demon lord. And what are their cultivation levels? Mahayana realm or half-step Mahayana. Do we in the righteous path not have powers that can contend with them? There are indeed such powers, but most are close to ascending and unwilling to emerge and make enemies. As they spoke, the two had already returned to the sect. Hanju looked up seriously and said, "Since fellow Taoist has shared so much with me, I will also tell you something that currently only the sect leader knows." Dooku looked puzzled. "Please feel free to speak, fellow Taoist Han. The demon emperor has been resurrected. Elder, do you think it could be related to these 5 great powers of the demon path?" Upon hearing this, Dooku's face changed dramatically. The demon emperor is resurrected? This is bad. At the same time, the sect leader also learned that a Tribulation Crossing realm guest elder had come to the sect. He immediately ordered preparations for a luxurious cave dwelling to welcome him. Above the sea of clouds, a dark cloud raced through the sky, upon which 2 figures were seated in meditation, one of whom was Suchi. "Senior, where are we heading exactly?" Suchi inquired. Ever since following Luo Chioma, they had been wandering, frequently encountering natural disasters and accidentally entering ancient forbidden lands, which was incredibly harrowing. "Is this great opportunity you mentioned really true or not?" Suchi asked impatiently. Luo Chioma coldly replied, "All you do is ask. Don't you ever get tired? Without these mishaps, we would have already arrived. You're just a jinx." However, Suchi disagreed with this accusation. "You call me a jinx, but why is it always you who ends up unlucky? While your high cultivation level may not mind, my frail body can't take much more." Indeed, along the way, under the dual curse of Suchi's bad luck and Hanju's curse, Luo Chioma had been incredibly unfortunate. Periodically, they would be struck by heavenly punishments, encounter a group of creepers in the wild, get attacked by sharks during tornadoes in the sky, and upon entering a legendary ancient secret realm, not only did they gain nothing, but calling out the names of ancient powers almost obliterated them. Although Suchi also suffered, his injuries were only skin deep. Luo Chioma attributed all their misfortunes to Suchi being a bad omen, while Suchi didn't see it that way, considering he had always managed to turn misfortune into fortune before. Despite the setbacks, they were finally nearing their destination. Luo Chioma pointed to a region ahead where dark clouds and thunderstorms thunderstorms were dense. We're almost there. The person I'm taking you to see is the Demon Emperor. Hearing the name for the first time, Su-Chi asked about the relationship between the Demon Emperor and the Demon Master. Were they brothers? Luo Qiuma explained they were merely from the same demon path, with no substantial relationship. Then who is stronger? Luo Qiuma wasn't sure, only that the Demon Emperor had debuted earlier and achieved higher status among the demons. Luo Qiuma warned Su-Chi to speak less upon arrival and to act according to his mood. Soon, they encountered a giant sandworm. Luo Qiuma sighed, resigned, used to it. Meanwhile, in a dilapidated royal palace, chaotic heavenly dog lay beside a dragon throne, its neck bound by a black collar, making it look more like a guard dog. Doggy numbly stared ahead as if it had lost its soul. We're finally back. Do you know how prosperous my dynasty was back then? Jinaya murmured to himself. Chaotic heavenly dog didn't respond, having grown accustomed to Jinaya's soliloquies. In its eyes, Jinaya was definitely mad. Jinaya became more excited as he spoke, moved to recite a poem in this moment. I stirred the foundations of 100 generations, wielded the long whip to govern the realm, swallowed all directions to obliterate immortal gates, tread upon the supreme to command the universe, wielded the hammer and whip to lash the world. My might shook the 4 seas. Before he could finish, the sound of footsteps approached. Excellent. The achievements of the Demon Emperor shall be extolled for thousands of generations. 2 figures entered the hall. The Demon Emperor coldly inquired, "Who goes there?" Doggy also spat. "Who's that?" Flattering a madman from so far away. "I am Luo Qiuma. Hearing of your majesty's awakening, I've come to offer my service," Luo Qiuma said with a bow and a smile. Jinaya scrutinized him without expression. "Was it you who arranged for someone to summon me? Speak. What reward do you seek?" "If your majesty could once again rule the world, that would be my greatest wish," Luo Qiuma replied with a smile. "What do you mean by that?" "If I ascend in the future, I will surely join the Demon Palace in the higher realms. Unifying the world under the Demon Path and controlling the moral realm is the mission entrusted to us by the Demon Palace in our dreams." Jinaya's eyes lit up. "The higher realms Demon Palace. If I ascend, would the Demon Palace deign to guide me? If your majesty can reclaim the supreme throne, the Demon Palace will surely assist you during the ascension tribulation." Jinaya was delighted by this news and quickly invited Luo Qiuma to take a seat. Then, Jinaya frowned slightly at Su-Chi, asking, "And who might this be?" Chaotic heavenly dog also noticed Su-Chi and was shocked speechless. "Isn't this the disciple of my master?" Luo Qiuma introduced him as the closed-door disciple of the Demon Master, explaining that the Demon Master was busy cultivating and had sent him to serve. Jinaya was displeased, "Sending just a disciple to serve me? Is this how the Demon Master treats me?" Luo Qiuma explained that the Demon Master has always been a loner, reclusive and bloodthirsty. His absence might be for the best. Sending a disciple signifies his stance and could help us unify the demon path more swiftly. Su-Chi couldn't recognize Doggy, thinking this dog didn't look much like a dog at all. It was only then Doggy remembered the last time they parted. It was still a puppy. Luo Qiuma gave Su-Chi a meaningful look. "This is the great opportunity one mentioned. Aren't you going to pay your respects?" Left with no choice, Su-Chi reluctantly paid his respects to the Demon Emperor. However, Su-Chi's salute made Jinaya feel a chill down his spine. He pointed to chaotic heavenly dog beside him and told Su-Chi, "From now on, you will be responsible for taking care of my dog." Becoming a servant tasked with dog care, Su-Chi was naturally displeased but dared not express his anger. Chaotic heavenly dog, on the other hand, was secretly pleased. Could it be that Su-Chi was sent by the master to rescue him? This was good. At least someone familiar was by his side. Now, more than ever, it needed to find an opportunity to reveal its identity to him. "I need you to do something for me," Jinaya said indifferently to Luo Qiuma. "What is it?" "Go to the Great Swallow, find a sect named Jade Pure Sect, and kill a cultivator named Hanju." Upon hearing this, both chaotic heavenly dog and Su-Chi were shocked. Luo Qiuma was stunned, again with the Jade Pure Sect. Why does the Demon Emperor also want to target the Jade Pure Sect? Luo Qiuma laughed helplessly. "You really don't beat around the bush, do you? We've only just met, and you're already sending me on errands." Jinaya stressed the importance of the matter, urging his trusted official to set off without delay. "I'll go when I have time," Luo Qiuma verbally agreed, but he didn't take it to heart. The Great Swallow was too far, and he couldn't be bothered to go. Moreover, the Demon Lord had already taken on this task. There was no need for him to go as well. Luo Qiuma felt uncomfortable with Jinaya's orders. "Giving me tasks right after we meet. I said I was willing to serve you, but that was just a polite remark. You're just a tool, and you dare to act so high and mighty with me? But what did this cultivator named Hanju do to Jinaya to make him want him dead?" Jinaya has only just returned. Luo Qiuma became curious about Hanju. Meanwhile, on the other side, Hanju was sipping milk tea while watching his disciples spar. After breaking through to the nascent soul realm, Murong-Chi has always wanted to test his skills against the dark prison chicken. Yang Tiandong also got up to join him. Relying on his higher cultivation level, the dark prison chicken often bullied Yang Tiandong and the others, but since Chicken Lord was of a higher generation, none of them dared to complain. Just then, Hanju received a system notification. Luo Luo Chioma, 4th level of the Mahayana realm, one of the 5 venerables of the demon path. Displeased that Ji Naiha didn't give him face, he became interested in you, whom Ji Naiha wants to kill. Current favorability is 1 star. Hanju was puzzled. What is this? Cursing you every day and now developing feelings? Hanju found it amusing. Were the 5 venerables of the demon path and Ji Naiha going to have an internal conflict? He immediately took out the Book of Misfortune, wanting to continue messing with Luo Chioma's mentality. Perhaps the irritable Luo Chioma would end up tearing his face off with the demon emperor. During this period, Sun Chanen discovered that Fan Liang's cultivation was stuck at the 9th level of the foundation establishment realm, seemingly reaching his limit and unable to advance further. In fact, Fan Liang's speed of advancement was already considered very fast compared to the outside world, but this is the ascetic immortal mountain where the spiritual energy is incredibly dense, making his progress seem slow. Sun Chanen wanted Hanju to help find the reason. Fan Liang, unable to improve his cultivation, has been dispirited lately. Hanju naturally knew the reason, but he wanted Fan Liang to think he was just an ordinary person, so he said, "There's no issue, it's just that the aptitude is too poor, you just need to diligently practice ascetic cultivation." Sun Chanen was somewhat doubtful. Is it really just a matter of persisting with ascetic cultivation? Hanju replied, "Ascetic immortal mountain does not keep the idle. I see potential in him." Hearing these words, Fan Liang felt somewhat ashamed. Indeed, compared to his uncles, he was now completely useless. The uncles have already reached the nascent soul realm, and even the master's demon pet has a higher cultivation level. I really envy them for learning so much from the master. Meanwhile, outside the grand hall of the Jade Pure sect, 9 Cauldron Sage was also watching the sky where a battle of magic was unfolding. Such scenes no longer caused much impact nowadays, as the number of nascent soul realm cultivators in the Jade Pure sect was increasing, and the nascent soul realm was no longer the top level within the Jade Pure sect. It was precisely because of this, since the sect leader Li Qingzi had a lower cultivation level, many of the elders with higher cultivation levels became arrogant, increasingly neglecting their duties within the sect. This made 9 Cauldron Sage feel uneasy. He scolded the elders to return to their duties and not to waste cultivation resources by being idle all day. Clearly, he was more suitable to be the sect leader than Li Qingzi, especially since 9 Cauldron Sage was at the 9th level of the Fusion Void realm, very close to the Union realm, with very few in the Jade Pure sect stronger than him. The elders dared not show any disrespect towards him. 9 Cauldron Sage, looking at the battle in the sky, couldn't help but exclaim, "Even the demon pet of the god-slaying elder has cultivation that could match mine. I must hurry with my advancement, especially since the demonic sects have already started to stir." At this time, outside an ancient secret realm overseas, a fierce battle had just ended. Xianshishir and Zhou Fan had finally killed all the enemies. Over the years, Zhou Fan, in order to rescue Mafuchu trapped in the secret realm, had always refused to leave with Xianshishir. He firmly believed his good brother was not dead. After clearing the enemies, he would continue to dig through the ruins. Xianshishir advised him, "This relic is sealed from the inside, and those below the Tribulation Crossing realm cannot open it from the outside." But Zhou Fan wouldn't listen, persisting in his efforts day after day for years. Zhou Fan said, "Even if it's just a corpse, I want to bring Mafuchu back." Xianshishir gave him a final deadline. They couldn't continue fighting with those 3 sects any longer. Perhaps it was Zhou Fan's sincerity, but not long after, he actually found the entrance mechanism. As the mechanism was activated, Zhou Fan was blasted away by a powerful force. Xianshishir hadn't expected that Zhou Fan, with his level of cultivation, could open the mechanism. A huge surge of energy shot into the sky, but it wasn't the ominous force from before. As the energy dissipated, the entrance to the relic reappeared in front of them. Zhou Fan rushed in impatiently, but was held back by Xianshishir. She vaguely felt that there was something very strange about the relic. The relic was on the verge of collapse, and they proceeded very carefully. Deep inside the relic, they finally felt the presence of a living person. It was indeed Mafuchu. He was still alive. Zhou Fan eagerly jumped to Mafuchu's side, calling out to his good brother. But when Mafuchu slowly lifted his head, his eyes revealed a terrifying murderous intent. Without saying a word, Mafuchu slowly stood up, while Xianshishir didn't notice any trace of the demonic aura from before. Zhou Fan happily talked about the battles of the past few years, also failing to notice anything odd about Mafuchu. At that moment, with a sudden thrust, Mafuchu's hand pierced into Zhou Fan's chest. It was too late for Xianshishir to stop it. Mafuchu's other hand grabbed Zhou Fan's shoulder, forcefully tore out Zhou Fan's heart. Mafuchu coldly stared at Zhou Fan's beating heart, as if the person in front of him was not a brother, but an enemy. Zhou Fan was dead, and Xianshishir, in a rage, attacked Mafuchu. This story pauses here, while on another side, Hanju also began a magical duel. His opponent was his own first wife, the Demon Lord. Hanju, using all his skills, still found it difficult to defend, as Xian Qingjun was overwhelmingly strong. Despite repeatedly losing, he continued to fight, barely managing to last 2.5 minutes. To lower the difficulty, Hanju set Xian Qingjun's combat level to the 3rd level of the Mahayana realm, yet still had no chance of winning. It seems that encountering the Demon Emperor now would likely result in death. Hanju, having reached the third level of the Tribulation Crossing realm, found his cultivation progressed significantly slower, which greatly troubled him. Just then, Hanju received a system notification. What? Shofan died again? The world is full of demon cultivators. Chaos is truly about to ensue. In order to improve his cultivation as quickly as possible, Hanju went into seclusion for 3 years. The first thing he did upon leaving seclusion was to visit his master and senior sister, planning to upgrade their heavenly puppets. Just then, Sun Chanen came to Hanju in a fluster. Master, you've finally come out of seclusion. Sun Chanen was usually calm, so Hanju asked him what was wrong. Sun Chanen said it was about Fan Liang. During the 3 years of your seclusion, Fan Liang's cultivation has been stuck at the 9th level of the Foundation Establishment realm. Even using elixirs has not led to any progress. Master, you said 3 years ago that all he needed to do was diligently practice ascetic cultivation, but now it seems his talent has really hit its limit. Hanju then remembered that the reason Fan Liang couldn't advance might be related to his background. The so-called luck of heaven and earth manifesting once breaking through to the Golden Core realm is indeed not so simple after all. At that moment, Hanju called Fan Liang into the innate cave abode. Fan Liang was very nervous. Could it be that the Grandmaster is going to expel me from the sect? Sun Chanen comforted him. With your master personally intervening, there shouldn't be a big problem. Hanju arranged for Sun Chanen to go to Chan Yuer and Shishuan Fairy's cave abodes to bring them over, and also to bring the heavenly puppet. Watching Fan Liang follow Hanju into the innate cave abode, Chick said with a sad face, "You guys have good talents. Poor little Liang's cultivation has come to an end. The master usually doesn't interfere too much with others' paths of cultivation. Actually, instead of continuing to practice ascetic cultivation on the mountain, it might be better for him to go down the mountain and live as a wealthy man for 100 or so years." Hearing Chick say this, Sun Chanen was naturally unhappy. After all, Fan Liang was his disciple, but all Sun Chanen could do was silently pray for him in his heart. "I hope your Grandmaster can help you get through this, especially since your fishing skills are the best in our circle." Inside the innate cave abode at this time, Hanju began to probe into Fan Liang's body with 6 paths of spiritual power. Hanju found that Fan Liang had already met all the conditions to break through to the Golden Core stage, but there was a clump of energy blocking his energy center, preventing him from forming the Golden Core. This energy seemed like some kind of seal or restriction, strong enough to block the Union realm. If Hanju hadn't advanced to the Tribulation Crossing realm, he probably wouldn't have discovered it, which explains why Sun Chanen didn't know the reason. Hanju asked Fan Liang, "You have been my disciple for some time now. Have you realized what the pursuit of cultivation is?" Fan Liang was extremely nervous, hesitating for a moment before answering. "To become an immortal." "What is the purpose of becoming immortal?" "Of course, it's for eternal life." Hanju couldn't help feeling reassured. His cultivation might not be impressive, but his ability to persevere truly embodies my teachings. "Will you be hindered by power, benefits, or women in your cultivation path in the future?" Fan Liang confidently answered, "I will not be, neither in the past nor in the future. I was orphaned and alone, and it was the Grandmaster who took me in. I deeply agree with the Grandmaster's philosophy of cultivation. Everything else is inferior, only cultivation is supreme." Hanju nodded with satisfaction. "If I were to give you a chance to soar, what would you do afterwards?" Fan Liang, overwhelmed with honor, immediately knelt down. "I would be willing to shatter my bones and scatter my ashes for the Grandmaster." "No, that's wrong. I mean to immerse myself in cultivation, not concern myself with worldly affairs, and never cause trouble for the Grandmaster." Seeing Fan Liang so earnest and frightened, Hanju nodded with satisfaction. "That's more like it." Then, Hanju immediately started using the 6 realms of reincarnation technique. "Since your master says your talent is lacking, then as your Grandmaster, I will create talent for you." Surrounding Hanju, strands of golden light began to converge. Fan Liang, feeling the surging spiritual power around him, showed a face filled with surprise and awe. How high is the Grandmaster's cultivation level? At that moment, Hanju received a system notification. "Your grand disciple Fan Liang's favorability towards you has increased, currently at 5 stars. Just 5 stars, not the highest yet. I need to find a way to inspire this kid further." Hanju directed the condensed golden light into Fan Liang's energy center. Fan Liang felt his spiritual sense being pulled out in an instant. When he opened his eyes again, he seemed to be in the vast great void, surrounded by countless golden lights. Then, he heard Hanju's ethereal voice. "The approach to assaulting the Golden Core realm varies from person to person. The vast majority directly gather the Golden Core. Very few can enter the great void with their soul, using the resonance between heaven and man to gather the Golden Core. Even rarer are those who can, through their talent, use their bodies as the seed to open a new path. Without exception, these individuals become unparalleled powerhouses." Fan Liang felt his soul fiercely colliding with the great void, the energy of the great void gradually condensing before him. Bound by fate? How could my disciple be limited by fate? If so, today I, Hanju, am willing to sacrifice my cultivation and lifespan to break this damned fate. Under Hanju's influence, the energy of the Great Void gradually condensed into a golden core. Hanju's words shocked Fan Liang. The Grandmaster was willing to sacrifice his cultivation for him. Fan Liang's eyes reddened. To fully play the part, Hanju shouted, "My disciple is advancing. Not even heaven can stop him." After saying this, the clump of energy inside Fan Liang was shattered by Hanju. With Hanju's help, Fan Liang's spiritual power uncontrollably began to condense into a golden core. At the same time, Hanju received another system notification. Your grand disciple Fan Liang's favorability towards you has increased, currently at 6 stars. Hanju was delighted, thinking that old tricks really do win hearts. Little Liang, I have cleared all obstacles for you. The rest is up to you. If you find yourself to be special in the future, I hope you consider yourself ordinary, as that is the way to a long life. Do not follow in Zhou Fan's footsteps. Meanwhile, an anomaly appeared in the sky above the cave abode, with a 7-colored radiance shining above the Jade Pure sect. Sichuan Fairy knew this meant a prodigy had been born. As the energy clump dispersed, countless true energies swept through Fan Liang's energy center like a storm. Fan Liang felt as if his meridians had been unblocked. His senses became clearer, and the world appeared entirely different to him. Soon, it began to snow in the sky. Gold snow. Clouds morphed into human shapes, resembling celestial maidens scattering flowers, astonishing all disciples of the Jade Pure sect. Sichuan Fairy caught a snowflake. This is heavenly bestowed fortune gold snow. It seems a prodigy has indeed been born just now. Chang'an was shocked internally, wondering if his master had really changed little Liang's fate against the heavens. Inside the Jade Pure sect's main hall, 9 Cauldrons Sage, looking at the gold snow filling the sky, exclaimed, "This is the first time I've seen such a phenomenon since I started cultivating." The elders all agreed that the fortune of our Jade Pure holy sect was about to greatly increase. In the sky, clouds churned as dragons and phoenixes chased and played with each other. Outside the innate cave abode, Dark Prison Chicken, Yan Tiandong, and others were also astonished, Chick exclaiming in wonder, "Indeed, this phoenix looks exactly like me." Inside the cave abode, Hanju looked at Fan Liang and said lightly, "Congratulations, you've reached the Golden Core realm." After helping Fan Liang break through to the Golden Core realm, Hanju instructed him to continue his ascetic cultivation in peace and keep a low profile, cautioning him not to follow Zhou Fan's disastrous path due to rapid progress in the future. At the time, Fan Liang did not fully grasp Hanju's meaning, but he was certain that following the Grandmaster's advice could never be wrong. The next day, when he left the innate cave abode, he felt as if he had lived through an era. Yang Tiandong was the first to notice Fan Liang's successful breakthrough. Fan Liang, tears of gratitude, said, "The Grandmaster sacrificed his cultivation progress and lifespan to reshape my talent." Everyone was shocked, wondering if the heavenly anomaly was due to the reshaping of his talent. Hanju, inside the cave abode, told them not to make a fuss and to keep Fan Liang's matter a secret. With the revival of demon cultivators, none of you should wander off the mountain. Stay and continue your ascetic cultivation here. Yang Tiandong silently marveled at how high his master's cultivation must be to reshape talent and trigger a heavenly phenomenon. Chick also hadn't expected the master to sacrifice his cultivation progress and lifespan for a disciple with mediocre talent, a truly unprecedented event. Morong Chi's respect for the Grandmaster deepened even further. Although the Grandmaster was always aloof, he was absolutely clear about his stance towards his disciples. The happiest was Sun Chang'an, as no one was more concerned about Fan Liang's cultivation than he was. Seeing Fan Liang still crying, he stepped forward to comfort him, saying that his Grandmaster must have his reasons for acting this way, and he would not have intervened without being certain of success. The master has always been dedicated to ascetic cultivation and does not easily accept disciples. There are many outstanding disciples in the Jade Pure sect, so why are there only a few of us here? When I was trapped by emotions, I was fortunate to be taken in and guided by your Grandmaster, which helped me find my life's value and mission. The reason why the spiritual energy of ascetic Immortal Mountain is so dense is thanks to me and the Fusang tree. Chick joined in. Do you think I'm just here to eat because I'm fat? I am a genuine phoenix, through and through. Yang Tiandong also touched his head. My adoptive fathers outside always say I have the bloodline of a demon saint, though I haven't seen how powerful I am yet. Morong Chi shook his head in confusion. What about me? I don't have anything special. Sun Chang'an waved his hand. Haven't you noticed that you understand many things without being taught? Morong Chi had an epiphany. Could that be my talent? In short, there are no idle people on ascetic Immortal Mountain. To be precise, no ordinary people. We are all aces chosen by him. Fan Liang then understood why the threshold for ascetic Immortal Mountain was so high. No wonder no one else had been admitted after him. Thinking of this, Fan Liang cried again, realizing it wasn't that he was inadequate, but that the Grandmaster wanted him to continue ascetic cultivation and wait for an opportunity. In his heart, Fan Liang kowtowed to Hanju 100 times. The Grandmaster has given me a chance, and I will not let him down. Thus, in less than half a year, Fan Liang firmly consolidated the first level of the Golden Core realm, and then started improving his cultivation like flying. A legend was officially beginning from this moment. With the talent of a child of heaven and earth, plus his hard work and diligence, legends. Fan Liang reached the 3rd level of the Golden Core realm in just 3 years. Chick, Sun Chang'an, and the others were completely dumbfounded. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before Fan Liang's cultivation caught up with or even surpassed theirs. One day, the sky exhibited another phenomenon. A fireball fell from the sky, heading straight for ascetic Immortal Mountain with blazing flames. Chick and Yang Tiandong thought it was an attack by demon cultivators, and everyone immediately went on alert. It's time to contribute to ascetic Immortal Mountain. How could we face the master if we can't even block this? Unexpectedly, before the fireball hit the ground, it changed direction and hit Fan Liang on the head. Everyone was shocked, thinking the master's favorite disciple was killed. What would they do? But the fireball just caused a bump on Fan Liang's head and then rolled to one side. On closer inspection, the object looked like a spirit stone. Everyone felt that this stone contained extremely dense spiritual energy, and they quickly had Fan Liang take it to Hanju for a closer look. Hanju examined it closely. The stone was the size of a fist, emitting a deep purple glow, obviously not an ordinary stone. Hanju thought to himself, is this what being a child of heaven and earth is like? Opportunities come knocking without even leaving home. Utterly astonishing. Hanju asked him to give him the stone first, and he would study it further. Then, Hanju took out a heavenly puppet. I've just developed a new generation of products. Unfortunately, there's no suitable material to withstand the power of the tribulation crossing realm, and it can only be disassembled to preserve the spiritual power separately. Even if you encounter Union Realm or low-level tribulation crossing realm powerhouses, as long as you assemble the puppet, it can save your life. Take this as an exchange for the spirit stone. Fan Liang thanked Hanju and left happily. Hanju thought to himself that if the spirit stone could attract a child of heaven and earth, it must not be an ordinary item. At this time, the heaven-earth grass that had been sleeping in the cave suddenly woke up. Attracted by a familiar scent, the heaven-earth grass suddenly said, Master, I've seen this stone before. You've seen it? Hanju was surprised and asked the heaven-earth grass, my previous owner. She used to hold such a stone while cultivating. What? Hanju was astonished. A stone held by immortals. Is it really an item from the higher realms? The spirit stone appeared to have been polished by someone, suggesting that immortals from the higher realms must value it highly. Hanju used his spiritual sense to examine it closely, but no matter how much he investigated, it was just a spirit stone, albeit one containing far more spiritual energy than any other spirit stone. He had once read a book describing similar treasures. Such treasures were known as enlightenment stones, and they often had scallions growing nearby. The scallions would absorb the spiritual power from the enlightenment stone, pondering the mysteries of the universe day and night. Wait, scallions? Seeing Hanju suddenly freeze, the heaven-earth grass anxiously asked, what happened then? Hanju continued, do you remember what I told you? I will give you a complete life, and perhaps the key to your life lies within this stone. Hanju advised the heaven-earth grass to closely meditate with the stone, suggesting that it might not take hundreds of years for it to transform. Thus, the heaven-earth grass kept the stone by its side every day. Afterward, Hanju continued his closed-door cultivation, and 7 years passed in a blink of an eye. While he was busy cultivating, the cultivation world was undergoing tumultuous changes. Demon cultivators became increasingly active, which alarmed the righteous path. Previously, when the green python great sage rampaged across the world, the demon path sects would directly flee, and those who fought against the green python great sage were mostly from the righteous path sects. Therefore, after the death of the green python great sage, the righteous path was weaker than the demon path. In such circumstances, the activity of demon cultivators was unsettling, until news spread throughout the cultivation world. The demon emperor, who had disappeared thousands of years ago, had resurrected. The demon emperor sought to establish a demon path dynasty, a dynasty organized by demon cultivators, and he was recruiting demon cultivators from all over the world to join him. Various legends of the demon emperor circulated. Some were worried that the world would plunge into chaos again, while others were indifferent. The cultivation world has always seen shifts in power between the righteous and the demonic, which is why heroes emerge in every era. There's no need to worry too much. The green python great sage was so powerful before, yet in the end, he still died. The demon emperor once unified the demon cultivators across the world, but that was many years ago. Times have changed. During the conversation, Nine Cauldrons sage noticed that Li Qingzi had a strange expression on his face, as if he wanted to say something but hesitated. He suddenly remembered something and asked, Li Elder, you inquired about the demon emperor decades ago. Could it be that you know something? Li Qingzi hesitated and said, decades ago, the god-slaying elder had me specifically investigate the demon emperor. Perhaps he foresaw something, but he didn't elaborate, and also hoped that I would not spread the word. Everyone was shocked. Gu Yugang pondered and said, could it be that the god-slaying elder had already foreseen the catastrophe that would befall the cultivation world? Is that why he didn't say anything, fearing that we would worry? They all knew that the real pillar of the Jade Pure sect was the god-slaying elder. The fact that even the god-slaying elder had inquired about it showed that this catastrophe would not be small. Lu Bumi spoke up, sect leader, I want to move the branch of the blood flame heavenly gate directly to Great Swallow. Is that possible? Nine Cauldrons sage shook his head and said, "Great Swallow does not have that much space for you all to cultivate. Let's establish a teleportation formation so everyone can assist each other and share what we have." The elders of the Jade Pure sect began to get busy. Meanwhile, Nine Cauldrons Sage ordered that all of Jade Pure sect's contribution tasks be confined within Great Swallow, and disciples outside of Great Swallow were all summoned back. Hanju was still unaware of this matter. He was still cultivating. There was still some distance to reach the 4th level of the Tribulation Crossing realm. Speaking of which, Hanju, who secluded himself for cultivation all year round, would also feel bored, but he often reminisced about the past to fill the void. This included memories from his previous life. In his previous life, Hanju was a talented chef, dreaming of glorifying the family's spicy seafood. Just as he had taken over his grandfather's seafood restaurant, he died young, without even having touched a finger of his bride-to-be. Hanju's thoughts were still with the girlfriend from his previous life when suddenly a woman behind him called out, "Master." Hanju was startled. It was impossible for outsiders to enter his innate cave abode. He turned around abruptly, only to see a scene that made his blood surge. Hanju glanced at the flower pot of the heaven-earth grass, and sure enough, the pot was empty. The heaven-earth grass had actually transformed into a human form. What was strange was that it had not encountered the heavenly tribulation during its transformation. For monsters to transform into human form, they had to go through the heavenly tribulation. The heaven-earth grass was also puzzled that it had skipped the heavenly tribulation without having reached its 10,000-year period. Hanju looked at the enlightenment stone. Could it really be related to this? This stone was indeed incredible, possessing the power to avoid the heavenly tribulation. If so, wouldn't that mean there was no need for crossing the tribulation anymore? Fang Liang's gift turned out to be unexpectedly generous. Hanju and the transformed heaven-earth grass kept studying the stone, forgetting that heaven-earth grass was without a stitch on her body. Having no choice, Hanju had to make an exception to leave his seclusion and go down the mountain to buy her clothes. Dressed in new clothes, heaven-earth grass instantly transformed into a cute and clumsy girl, yet her eyes and eyebrows hid a trace of aloofness. Heaven-earth grass said her current appearance was modeled after her last master's looks. Hanju didn't feel much about it. The appearance of an immortal was nothing special, not even as pretty as his master, Shishuan Fairy. Hanju asked her if she had thought of a name. "Master, how about I call myself Enlightenment Sword from now on?" Heaven-earth grass said, twisting her body. Hanju's face twitched slightly. Enlightenment Sword. A fairy named like that? Enlightenment Sword said it was appropriate since she should cultivate the way of the sword. Hanju couldn't be bothered to think more about it. After all, she was just a plant. From then on, Heaven-earth grass was renamed Enlightenment Sword, and Hanju began to teach her the sword techniques personally.